A Disabled New Yorker Living in Cleveland by Rachel Butler. My depends were riding up my crotch, but that didn't stop me from having lunch with my assistant Jody Bryan. I ordered biscuits without butter and French onion soup and a carafe of club soda. I let the soup cool as I listened to Jody talk about her mother who was in the ICU. The bartender Leon walked by. We used to sit at the bar, but then they bought uncomfortable bar stools, and now we sit in the lounge by the fire and TV. I have dual diagnosis, which means I am a recovering alcoholic with a mental health disability, bipolar disorder. I have 16 years of sobriety. I also have mobility issues and walk with a cane as a side effect of my treatment. We are at Cedar Creek Grill, an American grill in Beechwood, Ohio, which is a Jewish suburb on the east side of Cleveland. I have type 2 diabetes and drink a lot of club soda. Jody cuts my French onion soup with a fork and a knife. My upper teeth are a removable denture. I developed gum disease many years ago because of a medication I took. I turned 62 years old on March 12th. My father was chairman and CEO of Eaton Corporation. He's 95 now and has Alzheimer's and mobility issues. My mom was a home ec teacher until she started having babies. She's been a housewife ever since. At 90, she's still sharp and pretty. I have two older sisters. Colleen, 63, lives in Cleveland and takes care of my parents. Becky, 64, lives in Boston with her husband and 24-year-old daughter. She works for the Harvard School of Public Health in marketing. My parents have full-time help at home to take care of my dad. It's hard to watch such a strong, powerful man decline. Becky used to work with a girl named Melissa who was friends with Joe Buck's daughter. Joe Buck's daughter went to buy a sports car and told the car dealership that her father, Joe Buck, was going to buy it for her. They let her drive the car home, and as she pulled up into the driveway, Joe Buck walked out and said, It makes you look fat. Colleen's son, Lee, recently moved to Austin, Texas, and is looking for a job. He spent his 25th birthday alone. I spend my holidays with my family here in Cleveland. Jody and I recently took a trip to New York to celebrate my birthday. We stayed at the Library Hotel in Midtown. We had a birthday party at the hotel restaurant, Madison and Vine, with some old friends. Buck Wolf, who is managing editor of the Huffington Post. Gary Ireland, a lawyer I used to work for as an editor. Kathy Baruch, an actress and comic, and Laura Young, a therapist. I lived in Manhattan for 23 years and now live in Chagrin Falls, Ohio for 15. I like Cleveland, but I miss New York. Jody and I are now sitting in my 2018 Subaru Legacy in the parking lot. We're sitting in a handicapped spot. When you're handicapped, parking is very important. We are smoking a cigarette and listening to Sirius XM radio, 70s on 7. There's a Bee Gees song playing. Jody loves the Bee Gees. Jody's boyfriend Chuck gives me Marlboro cigarette coupons. I smoke Marlboro Lights, just like Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City, one of my favorite shows. Jody and my favorite song is Rapper's Delight by the Sugarcane Hill Gang. Jody knows all the words to Rapper's Delight and can sing along with the song. I know some of them. Last summer, we used to sit outside on a cement bench at a now defunct restaurant called Brio, also in Beechwood at Legacy Village, and listen to Rapper's Delight and smoke cigarettes. I can afford to smoke and go to restaurants. Every day. I don't cook because of my mobility issues. I changed the station to the Grateful Dead channel. Good Loving is playing. I was introduced to the Grateful Dead my freshman year at Northwestern, where I was an English major. I also have a master's degree from the Columbia Journalism School, class of '89. I graduated from Northwestern in '85 and worked at Parents Magazine for 3 years as a fact checker and proofreader, and then got promoted to assistant editor. I went to the J School for the year-long program. It was a great experience. After journalism school, I worked at Time Inc. at FYI, the in-house journal, which Spy magazine said was better than Life and Money magazines. I also worked at Life War Weekly, which was a special edition of Life magazine, which Time Inc. put out during the Persian Gulf crisis. I graduated from Northwestern with departmental honors and made the Dean's List twice. Jody helps me walk back into the restaurant. My cheeseburger without a bun and a side of avocado is ready. Jody cuts my burger for me into little pieces. Everything is easier with Jody around. I originally turned I originally hired Jody through a woman named Ingrid, who I met by chance at Brio. Jody and I have a lot in common. We both went to journalism school and we both spent a lot of time in France. I spent 4 months at an artist colony called La Muse near Carcassonne as a volunteer host. When I was there, I worked on a young adult novel. I used to be heavy because of medication that I took for bipolar disorder. When I was in France, I lost weight because I was eating the way French women do. Now I am thin because my medication doesn't cause weight gain. I control my medication. I control my diabetes through good nutrition. My birthday week in New York was fantastic. Jody ordered a special cake from Lady M Bakery. We had a party with some of my friends in the city. Buck Wolf was one of my best friends at journalism school. Cipriani's in Soho is my favorite restaurant. We celebrated my birthday at almost every restaurant we went to. I never married and never had children. We are at Cedar Creek Grill. I am dictating this article to Jody. I say Jody was heaven sent, and she says it was Bashir. Jody is Jewish and I am Catholic. I don't go to church, but I still believe in a Christian God. My favorite saying is trust your instincts and stay close to God. I say that God made eardrums so that I could listen to love songs on the radio. Jody used to be a flight attendant in her 20s. She is now 58. She also had an online retail business, an event/custom invitation business. Jody is smart, knowledgeable, and pretty. She also wears leggings, t-shirts, and a black jacket. We both wear flats. At Brio, we met a good-looking gay bartender named Russ Downey. He now works at Lola's Bistro in Chagrin Falls. Lola's is a French restaurant right down the street from my house that we sometimes go to for dinner and dessert. I live in a 2-bedroom condo that has an electric chair so that I don't have to take the stairs. in New York. We almost went to I follow sports on TV and watch The Big Bang Theory, Friends, Seinfeld, and The Golden Girls. My favorite character on The Big Bang Theory is Penny. Penny has street smarts, which I think are important. In Cleveland, I'm a Cleveland Guardians fan. I don't have a favorite player. I like all of them. I also follow the Cavs and the Browns, even though the Browns break your heart every year. A couple of months ago, we saw Bernie Kosar at Cedar Creek Grill. We left him alone. Russ Downey is the best server in Cleveland. Jody wrote a review about him when he started his new job at Lola's Bistro. He gives me the occasional free mocktail and club soda. I always tip him 30%. I think tipping is important. I actually tip 22%. I usually tip 22%, more or less depending on server. I am lucky financially, but wonder what I would do if I couldn't afford restaurants, since I can't cook because of my mobility issues. I am currently in a court situation for fleeing and evading the police. I spent several days in jail. I wouldn't recommend it. There will be no more jail time, but I have to check in with the court once a year for 3 more years. I occasionally watch Yankees and Mets games on the MLB channel. Saturday is the best day because Reithoffers or Hoffs, a local nightclub and artist space, hosts an open mic in the afternoon. Even though Jody takes the weekends off, I really enjoy going to the open mic. I sang the first time I went. I sang I Feel Lucky by Mary Chapin Carpenter. I was terrible, but they gave me a nice round of applause. I haven't sang since. They have the open mic most Saturdays, and I attend and listen to the performers. I used to have a crush on Mike Niemeyer, one of the performers, now a co-host. I like when he performs Bust a Move. He is tall, thin, and in good shape. He has his own unique style, and and flair. He always wears a hat. One of the bartenders there, Brian Miller, gives me free club sodas. I asked him out, and we had a lunch date at Cedar Creek. It went well, I thought, but it hasn't been repeated. We have since become friends. He got my door jamb fixed for me. He is involved in 2 other businesses and used a work contact to get my door fixed. Brian is about 5'10" and weighs about 170 pounds. He is bald and has hazel eyes. I'd like to end with my anonymous Good Samaritan. We think she's a neighbor lady. She leaves me treats in a bag on my doorknob from local bakeries. We don't know who she is, but she left me a kugel one time, so we think she might be Jewish. I wish she would identify herself so I could thank her properly. I left her a thank you card taped to the door one day. She makes me happy.